Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode here. We got a good one, a hot one here on this Friday night. Bar League Hockey, baby. The weeks are moving along here, and we got a lot to talk about. Very interesting stuff happened over this past week. We'll go over that. And I have some guests, my co-hosts here, as always, here on this Friday night. Guys, welcome aboard here to the program. Big D, how you doing here on this Friday night, baby?
Wonderful. Sad that hockey's over, but glad it's over. Been skating since July, so finally glad to have some time and do more stuff here. So
Awesome. And we got, he's back with us here once again, Mr. Hoagie from the Frontline Ice Hogs. What's up there, Hoagie?
Gentlemen, great pleasure as always. Another Friday night with the boys. What could I ask for?
Absolutely. Hey, where are you going to be? Where else are you going to be on Friday night than right here, Bar League Hockey? We got all the news. We got all the gossip here for you guys of what's going on in the league. And I want to start with something here, Big D, because, week after week, we've been talking about this Bar League. We've been talking about this season here, this season in particular, and how the parity here, how close everything is between the top teams here. And, I mean, how can it get any closer than this? After this past week, we're looking at not one, not two, but a three-way tie in first. Yes, the Scrubs are still at number one here, but it's a three-way tie. All teams, and look at this, all of them have the same amount of wins, same amount of losses, same amount of overtime losses, 50 points to all three teams. I mean, how do you break this tie up here, Big D?
Well, I would say that it's more like, they're all equal, 50 points. I would go against who won against who. So, that's how I would put it. Some people might have got wins against the scrubbier teams. There was a couple forfeit losses this week, so maybe our power rankings had changed during the week. So
absolutely, and here's the thing, man. Looking at this, and like I said, we said each week, things change. Number 2 to number 3, flip flopped on here, and what we got, like 1 or 2 more weeks left of the regular season.
One more week. This week coming here is the final week of the regular season.
So the final week, and it's like we almost started the season. I mean, you could put 0-0 here for the top 3 because it all matters what they do here this week, how they finish, and it's really going to matter here because you got where you who gets that first place spot on here because number 2 and number 3 you're going to have to really battle out here in this playoffs, man. So. Can Scrub City do it 1 more week left? They've been number 1 for the whole past, 5-6 weeks on here. They got 1 more week to do it here. But right now, it's up for grabs for anybody. What do you guys think there in the chat, man? Who's going to finish number 1 after this week? And we'll have the number 1 spot heading into the playoffs. Will it be Scrub City? Will it be the Riverhawks? Or will it be the Ice Hogs on here? Hoagie, I don't think I even have to ask you this question because I already know your answer.
My answer?
Yes, what is your answer? Who do you think's going to be number 1 at the end of the season?
Well, I guess I gotta go with my team, the Ice Hogs.
Okay, all right. I'm still riding the Scrub City team, man. I still think on here. 6 weeks, listen. Listen, they're just making it interesting. They want to make things interesting here. That's all it is on here. They're going to finish strong just as they started the season. And I think they still go in number 1 heading into the playoffs. Then you got the Magos there at the number 4 spot. So whoever takes the number 1 spot is going to go up against the Magos, leaving the other 2. And then we also found out this past week, mathematically on here, both the Warriors and the Oldies are eliminated on here, but they could play as spoilers here this week if they want to ruin the standings there for those top three teams as far as where they finish. That could definitely happen here this week. What about you, Big D man? Who's finishing on top? What? How do you think? Not just that, man. Give me your top three after this week.
Riverhawks, Scrub City, Ice Hogs.
Ooh, okay, okay. Hoagie's
That's
he's putting
that's
guys at
who
number
that's
three,
who I'm
man.
going with, but it also could it could also change. The crappy thing about the last week and how uh, the Warriors and Oldies were mathematically eliminated. The problem with that is that you have a hard time getting guys to come and play then. So you never know. You might have like a bunch of guys from the Oldies not show up, and then they might have to forfeit a bunch of games, which sucks. And it would help,
Yep.
some teams get up in the higher in the standings that maybe they probably shouldn't have been. But I mean, at this point, anybody's going to beat the oldies. They're not very good. So I do want to talk a little about a little bit about these teams. Just I mean, granted that they are eliminated, but um, I just want to commemorate, or is that the word? Dad Smith and taking over the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that he eventually came in the beginning of the season and he brought in or Mullen Labe is his name or something, and he eventually wanted a team and he begged management for a team, and unfortunately he just wasn't able to come in and run his team properly. So Dad Smith came in and stepped up. He basically told Mullen that he was only going to do it part time, and he basically had to take it over. And I know that there was a bunch of help from Drizzy, but you know, for coming in and basically doing it part time, I mean, if he would have had a little bit more help in the first couple weeks, I think this team could have done some damage, because they were starting to hit their stride here towards the end of the week, which kind of sucks that they can't get in. Because I actually have one of their players as one of my top stars. So, um, yeah, so that sucks that they're eliminated, but it's such a good job by Dad Smith and Drizzy kind of helping that they kind of started to get the ship turned around, but it was kind of too late. So, yep. Uh,
Yeah, I didn't play. I didn't play until Wednesday.
Okay, okay.
Jay Woods is saying that he can't hear us on the Twitch side of things
Yeah,
because on mute.
I think I screwed that up, man. That
Oh,
was my
oh,
bad.
now we can. We're good.
Yeah. No, I was just saying about the Warriors. Just to tack on there for Big D.
Yeah,
I think there would have been a great matchup there against Scrub City because of the way they played in the regular season.
we
Um,
had a doozy against Scrub City on Wednesday.
yeah,
Big burn burner.
let's talk about that one, man. 5-4 final. Scrub City took it in overtime. What happened in that one?
We were down early and we made a comeback, and it just they got a goal within the last minute, and those goals in the last minute can hurt you. So we tried our best to. We kept up. We got us back into the game, which what matters, and tried to force it to overtime, and it just didn't work.
I mean, Jingles had a tremendous game there in that one.
Yeah,
Eighty
Jingle has been playing.
percent. And my
Jingle's been playing
man,
well.
Geezer, man. What about Geezer? 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points on all those 5 goals there. Ended up a point on
It was
each.
actually a 7-6 final for Scrub City, not
Oh,
5-4.
okay.
So, yeah.
You're right. You're right. I was looking at the one against the Riverhawks. Okay, you're right.
My camera just went out, so
Did we lose Big D? Oh, okay.
I'm still here, but my camera's out. It just, for some reason, it got too hot, so I'm still here.
Oh man. Oh gosh, we're testing a couple things out here. I should have tested this, given it more time. We're doing a different on the back end as far as the camera work. Audio wasn't working well, but I'll figure it out next week. But the other thing is, we're actually the first time we're streaming both on Twitch and YouTube. So if you're watching this, you could watch it on both either of those channels. And so far, it looks like it's fine. And as far as streaming, it's not messing up. It's not cutting off or anything. So I'm glad with that over there. So over here
Yep.
on the camera, huh, Big D?
Yeah, it's just I'm gone. I'm here. I have to let my camera cool down before I can turn it back on.
Gotcha.
So
That's good. That's good. Once it goes on, it'll go automatically up on here.
yeah.
Since while he does that, I mean, Hoagie, we do have some further announcements, right, pertaining to the bar league here.
Yeah, we do. We're going to talk about the All-Star game here in a few minutes, but I have some more information regarding the World Cup. As always, it seems like every time I'm on here in Hollywood, I got a big announcement from headquarters. So the World Cup, I'm going to get myself this season. So I've put together the idea, and I have it all organized. So how I'm going to run it is that we're gonna pick captains, as always, pick the owners and whatnot. But it's not gonna be a draft this season. So what I'm gonna do is once all the players are signed up, I'm gonna randomize the teams. So I'm gonna go through left wing, randomize all the left wings, go through centers, go through right wings and whatnot. So I'm gonna make it more of a fun World Cup, more than bringing in your buddies and stacking up and making it a better. I shouldn't say a better experience, but I'm gonna say a more fun experience. You get to play with guys you've never played with before, and you don't know who you're gonna play with off the hop. Basically, it's gonna all depend on the fate of the wheel, basically. And so how I'm going to run it on the tournament side of things is that I'm going to do a round robin. So you're going to play every team once, basically, depending on how many teams we have. And then for the playoffs, I'm going to run a double elimination playoff. So basically, you lose one game, you still have a chance to get to the finals. You'll be in the losers bracket and basically work your way up. Is how I'm going to run it. I'm going to, throw a curveball in there this season and try to freshen things up and give it a new look.
So how many teams did you say you were gonna have?
I don't know how many teams we're gonna have. Like I said, it all depends on the signups. All depends on the owners. All depends on the signups basically, and how
Okay.
many owners sign up as well at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
more details will follow when I make an official announcement in the Discord.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
there you guys have it, man. Hoagie. So it all depends on your interests, the signups, how that goes, and how the format. Well, it's a very interesting format you mentioned on there. I think, I think it will work, man. I think it will work. Definitely different from the previous one, but I like it. I like the setup. More dynamic on there, and uh, more game time there for the guys as well. Not just like one and out, done. So double elimination. Yeah, why not? I'm all for that.
Makes it more interesting in the playoffs as well to know that you're not going to be done after one game. So you still have the chance to work your way back up and have another shot at the finals.
So no excuses for the loser, right?
Here's a question. About the All-Star game.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this earlier. Why? I mean, I totally get why, but why didn't we do it earlier? Now that I'm thinking about it, because so next week you have the All-Star game, which is the week before playoffs. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you have two teams that have All-Stars that are no longer playing. So is it possible that these stars that are in the All-Star game that are on the teams that are not playing could end up leaving? Therefore, my question is do you have reserves? So like in the regular NHL, if somebody gets hurt, you have a reserve to put in the All-Star game.
Well,
Do you have
that's a
that with
great.
this?
That's a great question. I just all the nominees, as we know, have been nominated by the teams. So I don't know. I like I said, you can only put six on the ice at a time. So I'm assuming those are going to like the reserves are going to be the guys that maybe don't make the lineup. I don't know how that question is going to be worked in. That's a question I'll have to talk with league management about. Because you know what, I never thought about that, and that is a good point. And I think the idea of the All Star game was brought up a little later than expected. I
Mhm.
think like it wasn't brought up until a couple weeks ago, maybe week two. So I mean, of course you need time to go flow with the ideas and make sure everything's going to work and whatnot before you actually produce it. So maybe it's something to think of. Maybe it was something that we should have thought about before the draft, like last off season.
So the
Is
reason the reason why I'm asking is because I'm looking at the All-Star list right here.
yep,
So Lusky's eliminated,
yep.
Little's eliminated,
Brandon and Stumpa eliminated,
and so is Westfield, and
and
so is
Hersey
and Shimbo Slice
and Drizzy.
and Drizzy. So that's what I'm saying. That's a lot of people to be missing. That's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 8, 6, 7, 8.
You're missing, yeah, you're missing eight out of 12, 16. Yeah, so you're basically we have 24 here on the All Star list, right? So you're
Yeah,
basically minus you're taking out eight, so you have 16 left.
yeah. I mean, not everybody's gonna leave.
Yeah,
Like
no,
you're
no,
not gonna have like Drizzy and them and Brandon and them are not gonna leave the league or whatever. But
no.
you might have one. So I mean, would you
That's a
not?
good question. I don't. I guess reserves would have to be brought up at that point. Maybe if the like the let's just say the oldies lose somebody, maybe
Mhm.
you'll have to go back and as a league management vote on who comes in as the extra guy, basically, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, I never thought about that, and I don't know if any of the other guys thought about that. But you did bring up a good point.
That's
Yeah.
a,
Well,
it is an interesting point there, Big D. I think Big D needs to be part of that panel over there. No, when leagues decide to do like All-Star games and stuff like that, different events, that's one of the things that always comes up. It's like, when do you do it, man? Do you do it in the middle? Do you do it before the playoffs? Do you do it during the playoffs? Some guys hate it. Some guys like that fact. Sometimes, don't like the extra break on there. So it's always something that comes up. So I get Big D's point on here as far as that, and especially when teams are done. Teams are done. You see a lot of group leave and come back after the next signups come up or stuff like that. And also just the interest part too. At that point, when the season's going, you're still in it, you're still playing, you still have your games. But when the games are done, you're like, and they're done. Do you still have that interest there as the other guys?
Very true. Very true. I don't have an answer right away, but it's a question that I will bring to league management and see what I get for an answer. It's all I can tell you right now.
So Drizzy asked in the Twitch channel, what do you mean leave? We were saying that since the All-Star game is after the season, what if people leave and go to play in another league? What are you going to do for the All-Star game? That's all we're saying. By the way, about the All-Star game, we should throw shout outs to the two captains. So, how impressive is this? Valsey is captain 1, and Krejci is captain 2.
Wow,
Both goalies.
I like that. I
Yeah,
like
We
that.
not only
we
is that pretty cool, but I believe that they were nominated. They were voted as all-star captains, and being that they're both goalies just shows you how much of an impressive year they're both having.
well as a league management, when we decided to come up with the All Star game, we let the goalies vote. So after we decided that the goalies were going to be the captains, then all the All Stars got a form to fill out and picked which goalies they wanted as the two captains, which ended up being Valsey and Krejci by a long shot after the results.
Now,
I
these
mean,
games
considering
are these games going to be still the same nights that the bar league is, like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or are you guys going to use like the other nights that the league doesn't play in? For this, like, how's that working out? Does that mean that one of the weeks is going to get pushed back, or the playoffs get pushed back, or is it going to be in between that
I
gap
don't
that there's no games going on?
I don't think so. I think we're using um I think we're going third to the fifth.
Okay,
Um
so that's Monday. That's right
so
after WrestleMania. Okay.
yeah. So I think that I'll have to get the official schedule because I don't have it on me at the moment.
come on,
Um,
Hoagie, you got to be ready for this.
I
I
know,
know.
man.
I'm
He
sorry.
wanted to be on the show, man. He asked us to be on. He's like, "Yo, I got to talk about this here." And man's not even prepared, man. Big D, you put him on the spot here too, man. He thought he was gonna have an easy one, sit back, lay
Shame.
back
Yep,
Shame.
here.
I know.
yep.
I
His right
know.
wing's getting to him.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So I have it here. So the dates are gonna be April 3rd to 5th. On April 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern is gonna be the Breakaway Challenge. April 4th and 5th are gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best of 5 series. So on April 4th, you're playing at 9 p.m., 9:45, and 10:15 on Wednesday, unless both teams agree on starting earlier on Wednesday. Um, yeah. So that's
Why are you playing Wednesday?
Tuesday, because Monday's the breakaway challenge. Tuesday
Okay.
and Wednesday is gonna be the playoff for the All Star game thing, the best 3 out of 5. Unless if you agree to play the 3 games on Tuesday, and that's it.
Okay, I understand.
Because how they have it here is that on April 4th, it shows that you're only playing at the 9 and 9:45, and then it shows on the 5th, 9 p.m., 9:45, and 10:15 if needed. Is how it's shown on the post here that Chad made.
Okay, so being that we're still on All Stars, I'm just gonna run through them real quick. We got season 9 All Stars forwards. We got C. Webby, Hoagie, Barabod, Fat Geezer, Brandon, Stump 12, Dizzy Bone, Mitzi Mike, Maggle, Seifert, Lusky, Little. Defense, we got Officer Snipe, Jovals, Westfield, Sawyer, Wildcard, and Hartsey. And for our goalies, Valsey, Thike, Drizzy, Krejci, Vivop, and Shinbo Slice. Also, the I believe the All-Star draft is happening on Monday.
Monday, yes. I think it's at
So
5 p.m. Eastern.
we may have a stream up for that. We may not. Not sure yet. So there you have it. All-Star game.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that earlier posted, man. But I think Chad wanted like at 5 p.m. or something. I was like, whoa, or 4 p.m. I don't know.
5 is a tad early.
Yeah,
I mean, some people like, especially like Sammy, she was saying that she's central.
Yeah.
She's not even home from work by then, so.
Right.
Damn Canadians.
You know, Chad expects us to go full time, man.
Pay me and I will.
Gotta ask for that paycheck, bud.
Oh man, give me a hoagie or something, man. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Maybe. But
I had the hoagie back and ready to go this evening. But
man. When I saw that, I was like, oh man, this guy. But we'll figure it out. So for our first season doing this too, man. So I mean, I'm testing a lot of stuff out too. There's been some hiccups here and there and stuff, but you know what? I'm doing it here on both YouTube and Twitch, and it seems pretty fine. I mean, the videos are coming off well, so that's a plus. And we got all three of us on here, so I'll figure out the audio thing. Don't worry about it, man. Give me, first time using this thing, but this thing is pretty damn cool because what you could do also, you could invite the people right in the Twitch chat. So there's a command that you just type it out, and they'll go into that guest room area, and then we could just bring them in. So I think I could do like 5 or 6 people in, so it'd be great. Later down the road. Yeah. All right. Big D, man. What do you think, man? Should we go into our stars, man? Should we go into the top stars here? We do this every week. Pick out the top performers, top stars on here. Who's star? You want me to start it out, or you want to get one out there?
So I have a total of 7 stars of the week,
okay.
but I have them all tied.
Okay.
For a certain place.
Uh-huh.
So for number 3, in the number 3 spot, I got Mizzy Mike, 4 games played, 6 goals, 8 assists for 14 points. Tied with Sniper at 3rd place, 3 games played, 6 goals, 8 assists for 14 points. And Brandon tied for third place. It's 6 games played, 5 goals, and 9 assists for 14 points. So they all had 14 points. So I just put them all at number 3.
And then we all know who 1 and 2 is.
I agree with those. And listen, this week had a lot of that. Guys being tied up. We saw the standings, and the stats also proving the same. It was a pretty even week here. But yeah, all 3 of those guys that you mentioned on there. Now Sniper did play forward, right? He wasn't on D for those games, right?
He was on D 1 game.
Okay.
And I think he had 1 point, and then the rest were all.
So if I were to give any of that, I'd probably lean towards Sniper because of that reason right there.
Yeah.
And so he had a tremendous week there. For the Ice Hogs there, absolutely. Brandon always, Brandon also, on that Warriors team to be putting up those points too, could get the nod there easily as well.
You are correct, D. He had 1 point on D, and then he had 7 points in the 8-0 win against the Oldies, and then he had 3 goals and 3 assists in the game against Rock City.
That's correct.
So we had 13 points in 2 games on Wednesday.
Yeah.
With 13 INTs too, man. That's big too. But yeah, absolutely.
That's not terrible. That's not good, but
Yeah.
that's not terrible. So who do you got for your number 1 and 2?
Well, I'm a Scrub City bandwagon guy here, and here was another tie, man. Here was these guys, and I was glad to see finally Geezer actually played games this week, man. He had 4 of them, 4 games played on here. 13 goals, 9 assists, 22 points. But I like this guy better here, Jay Whips, man. 10 goals, 12 assists, 22 points as well for him.
Dang it.
And I'm going with Jay Whips, but he's right there, right with him, just as we mentioned the other tie.
My camera went out again.
This camera again.
Is it the program now, do you think? Or because this didn't happen on the Discord, did it?
No, I think it's because I have my camera so close to my screen that it's getting heated up from my monitor.
Gotcha. So
So I
it wouldn't
just have
matter.
to-
Okay.
Yeah, so I have to sit there and let it cool down. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I have Geezer and Whips same at number 1 and 2. They got some serious chem going because they cannot be stopped. 22 points in 4 games. That's insane. But I do want to throw out some notable stars. This might be more like throughout the whole season, and I feel like we haven't really talked about them much. But Seifert for the Magles, the Beef Bus, is 4-0, has a goal against average of 1.76, and his save percentage is .883. So I think he's playing wing majority, but maybe you should probably think about throwing him in net. Also, I think that one of the biggest reasons is I didn't have his stats wrote down, but Chad's doing really well in net, but TJ's doing even better. On the season, he's 9-3. Goals against average 3.12 with a 784 save percentage. Yeah, that number looks low, but in Chell, that number's pretty good, especially 9-3. Your goals against average is a little bit high, but that just tells you the team in front of them that they're just scoring a ton of goals. So shout out to him being at a 9-3 record. I mean, yeah, that's not really Vesna level numbers, but that's pretty damn close. So shout out to TJ.
I have Chad's stats here for you, D. Chad on the season is 6-3, with 3.74 goals against average and a 734 save percent.
There you go.
Well, if we're talking about goalies on here, Big D, my number 1 star this week on here, you guys mentioned the season stats there. As far as goalie, we had him here on the show, man. CN, shout out to him. What a week he had there for the Riverhawks. Check this stat, man. 92.3 save percentage this week. Goals against 0.92. He had 2 shutouts, 3 wins here this week of the 4 games played. Tremendous. CN stepping up, not only as a GM on there, but between the pipes there for the Riverhawks this week, and
yeah, that's pretty good. But at the same time, the reason why he had 2 shutouts is because one is a forfeit win.
Oh, so those count down there as well?
Yeah, because
okay, I might take that back then, man. Okay.
Yeah, goals against 0, saves 0,
Okay.
0 save percentage. That was the forfeit win against Magles that they had 2 losses this week that were forfeits.
Oh, so you guys registered those shutouts. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was wondering why it was so good, man. Okay.
But even still, he was still 4-0 on the week. So
okay.
I mean that's pretty good. He only let's see here, 20.
Was the other shutout legit?
27.
Or
Yeah, he had 14 saves, 0 goals against. So,
Okay.
I mean, he only let up 3 goals in 3 games. So that's subpar 900, below 900. So that's pretty good.
All right, I did not know that, but okay. All right, all right. Maybe I'll go to number 2 on my stars.
Let's try this again. Turn this freaking camera on. Anyway, go ahead. Keep talking. I'm still here.
Oh gosh. So there's our stars of the week on there. We mentioned about the other stuff. And we went through the standings. So, I mean, out of the 3 teams, the Riverhawks, Scrub City, Ice Hogs, who had the better week this week, man?
I'm saying Riverhawks. They went 5-0-1.
You think so?
Yep, Scrub City went 4-2.
All right.
And that's the thing though. If the Riverhawks wouldn't have lost in overtime,
Right.
they would have been number 1.
Yeah.
They would have leapfrogged by a point. So
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you there. I mean, they finished the week off. They lost both of those games. I know they were overtime, so they got point on each one on there, but they did lose both of them against the Warriors and Scrub City. But okay, okay. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to do because, like you mentioned, because of the forfeits too and stuff. So, like, I don't know. But you know what? You may be right, man. Now that I'm looking at this on here, okay, I see your point, man. I see your point because I can't put the Ice Hogs. No, I don't think the Ice Hogs and Scrub City, like I said, they were ahead of both of those teams. So yeah, you might be right. Maybe it is the Riverhawks. Those 2 overtime losses maybe got them the nod. Okay. So those Ice Hogs game in hand did not matter, right?
no, apparently not, because they went Ice Hogs went 3-2-1 on the season or on the week. So 500.
The makeup, the game in hand ended up being a forfeit one.
Oh, it did. Okay. So you guys
Oh,
might
so
have,
we
you guys
didn't
might
even
even
play
have
for
a
that win.
worse week.
Yeah.
That makeup game was from a couple weeks ago.
Interesting.
Okay, so that takes care of that on here. Was there any questions in the chat or anything? Or you guys got anything? I don't know if we were supposed to go over anything else on here. I mean, it's towards the end of the season too, so not much happening on here. The trades, we have no trades to really talk about. The trade deadline already passed and done. But you guys have anything on your plate, man?
No, I mean, other than just all I have is rankings, power rankings, for the week, and they changed for me. They changed last week, so if you want to get into that,
Okay, we could do that. We could do that. Well, I mean, as far as for us, the oldies, Warriors, and Maggles, I don't think anybody's changed anything there. Same, and it stayed the same out, and I think it's gonna finish same out through the end of the season. But mainly it's the top 3, those top 3 that we were talking about. Hoagie's got the Ice Hogs. I'm still writing Scrub City.
here we go. We got another one.
Back on, man. Okay.
This is my other webcam. Piece of junk, but yeah. So obviously the Warriors are out, so we're just basically gonna talk about these other.
You know what thing I'm looking at? The top three here, Big D. Wins, losses, everything's all the same. But then when you go to the goals for, goals against, and the differential on there, look at the Riverhawks, man, +69. As far as goals for, goals against.
Mm-hmm.
You know, better than Scrub City, which is a +54. A lot better than Ice Hogs, only +22. So that does that give the Riverhawks the edge, man? Is that the team to beat, man? Looking as far as the goals they put up and the goals that they allow on there, +69.
I think the reason why you put Riverhawks at number one is look at their lineup. Well, not their lineup, but their roster. I mean, look at the talent up to down, and look at all the points. Look at all the production. That's. I mean, you go over to Scrub City,
right?
And you got. I mean,
these are
the majority
whips, and then everybody else.
I mean that's the majority of all the producing. So you go over to Ice Hogs, and there's top three over there too. So I mean, but the thing is that the Maggles, if they are all playing, they're sneaky good. Like I said last week, they're going to be sneaky good.
It's a matter of them getting the avail.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting the avail. But if they get the avail, they're going to be sneaky good. Yeah. I mean, especially if you got Fly, 7 games, 28 points. Casper, 9 games, 31 points. I mean, and then, your last, 7 guys are, not so well, but that's what I mean. Like if they could put out a solid line, this is what I mean. So like if you put Maggle at left wing, you put Casper at center or right, you put Wildcard on D, you could put Cavi up front. I think he's a forward. And then you put the beef bus in net. I mean, you could, for playoffs, you could put G-Guard in net. I mean, and then you got Lamb has only played 2 games, but I mean, if somehow in the playoffs, well, I guess at the same time, you have to have 10 games for people to play in playoffs. I forgot about that.
Okay. It's not 10.
So.
That's what I was going to ask you, the eligibility part. So they got to play 10 to be eligible in the playoffs, right?
They got to play 6.
Oh, 6. Okay. All right. Now, is there a max as far as how much games the guys could play in that best of 7?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna pull up the rule book
because if not, I mean, and you get Geezer on all throughout that best of 7. Is it gonna matter? You know what I mean?
So for players to be eligible. To be playoff eligible, they must play in 6 games minimum in the regular season.
Okay.
Playoff ineligible players will become TCs at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So TCs can only play an emergency, and they can only play a certain amount of games per round. Round 1, 2 games. Round 2, 2 games. You're only allowed 1 TC per game, and TCs can't play 2 games in a row. And TCs can only be used for games 1 to 6 only. No TCs for game 7. Those that signed up after the draft are still only eligible to play 3 per week. They're allowed to play any 3 games, including Game 7, unlike the TC rule. Is how that works.
So if I'm this Maggle squad right now, Big D, it doesn't matter they win or lose here this week. They can't move up and they can't move down on here. So I'm getting as much guys in here to be playoff eligible, for that because does it, don't take no forfeits. Just get them on the ice on there. Get the guys you need to play. And be playoff ready. And that brings up an interesting concept too, because the other teams, right? If you got players and you got to play the players on there, do you risk that though, as far as your seating wise, though, man, or do you get the better seating, put the better guys out there, or do you want to um, get the guys that you need for the to be eligible for playoffs as well? So that could be something that comes up between these teams this week, this final week.
Magels have everybody basically playoff eligible except I don't want Fries, who is 2 games short. But everybody else on the player roster except for Lambo, who's only played 2 games, is playoff eligible. And of course Fries, who needs 2 more games.
Right. I mean, when you go into the playoffs, you only really need 2 lines. So, I mean, now if you're, can you play every single game if you're?
A non like if you got drafted
Yeah, you could
and
play every single game in the playoffs,
you
right?
could play every single game if you want, but you got to remember if you TO'd and you're in the playoffs, you can only play what that because of that TO rule, right? If you got traded, and you used your TO, whatever you put in for avail is what's stuck. So Big
Right.
D, where you TO'd and now
But I
you've
have
been
full
moved
avail.
down a couple too. Yeah, so you put down 5 to 6, so you're allowed to play max games, basically.
Yeah, that's a new rule this year, isn't it?
It
So
was
if
a
you
new rule, yeah.
Yeah, so if you TR, that's basically what they did is so if you say for instance you get to you signed up late, you only played 2 teams like 6 games or whatever for this so team and then you TR'd, say you're only 1 to 2 available and you got TR'd to your person's team that you wanted to go to, when you get to playoffs you can only play your avail.
Yeah, so here's the rule in the rule book. If a player submits a trade request, when they go to the new team, whether it be by trade or release after a week of not being traded and signs with a new team, that player can only play the amount of games that they signed up for on the original sign up form. So let's just say, as an example, me, I mean, I have full avail. I mean, if I choose to, basically. So, but let's just say I signed for the draft to be an FA, and I'm good for 1 to 2 games. If I TA'd to another team and got put on the new team, I can only play 1 to 2 games.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean that's pretty good. That helps teams from cheating. And basically,
It's a stat, but there's more rules that I think that should be put in. But it's a stat.
yeah,
Honestly.
it's basically it eliminates the buddy buddy system.
Well, we're trying to eliminate that because of egos and all the stuff that you get in the NHL community now. So we're trying to
Yeah.
make it so that a top round player who gets put on a team, who gets drafted by a team maybe he didn't want to be on. I mean, yes, they can still play when they go to the new team, but they're limited if they put 1 to 2 avail to try to fly under the radar, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
gotcha. So,
How much games are the guys that come in after the draft that get picked up?
they can only play a max of 3.
3. Okay.
They can only play half of
Mhm.
what we play
It could
in a
be any
week.
games though, right? Like
It
just
can be it,
okay,
it can be any of the 6,
okay,
but they can only play 3.
okay.
I wonder how many I wonder how many people have signed after the draft was on Maggles.
Um, Fly, Cavi, uh, Lambo. That's basically it.
That's not terrible.
They and then I just realized they got the peach. He put in his TN and it was never, I guess, looked at. So the Bengals got him.
But now, is he going to be suspended for 2 games?
He should be because that happened that happened in a previous season. I think it happened with Sniper actually when he t was that happened when he TI'd from you guys on the trash route maybe. And yeah,
Yeah.
and because no one, you guys never got the chance to find a deal.
Yeah.
He got put into free agency. He got picked up by Sammy when she took over. I think for Jazz Master, and he was suspended for the first 2 games of that week.
No,
I,
she had a
I
team. Or
no,
yeah,
I
that's
think
right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
I think he
Because it
took
was Sammy and Engvall or something.
yeah, because they took over for Jazz, and I don't know who his AGM was that year.
Yeah. But I think I'm just gonna throw this out there. I think I've said this before. Riverhawks and Scrub City are going to be the teams to beat. I feel like, no offense, Hoagie,
No, no offense taken.
about our team, but I
No,
just feel like we have a good team. I'm not going to deny that, but I think Riverhawks and Scrub City are going to be the teams to beat, just because of the fact that Riverhawks have so much depth.
a lot of
Um,
those guys and a lot of the guys on that team were drafted.
yeah, so they have all their availability. They're deep.
Yeah.
Scrub City will just come down to how much, uh, Geezer and Barrow and J Whips play.
But see, here's the thing: when Barrow can't play, you throw in McTricky.
Oh yeah, that's right. McTricky, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's tricky.
making some
He
Tricky,
noise.
hasn't
tricky, tricky, tricky.
he hasn't played much, but he is eligible for playoffs. So I
Yeah,
mean,
he's
that's
played a
another guy
lot
you can.
recently though.
That,
Last 2 weeks.
that's another guy you can sneak into that picture
10
from
games,
Barrow's
32
background.
points.
Hmm.
Solid pickup. Solid pickup.
No reason
Um,
not to play him. That's for
yeah.
sure.
Not only that, but Joe Bulls is having a quietly good season. So 23 games, 28 points, a little bit over a point per game, but he's not very offensively, but he's silently having a very good season defensively, I would say.
Shout out
Um,
to Joel's an OG of
yeah.
mine.
So shout out to Jovels. And what's his name's having a good season too? Lizard. 16 games played, 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what's most impressive is they're getting so much help from
Scoring.
the tender side with
Yeah.
Jingle and Chad and TJ
And Motini.
and Martini. So they're deep too. I mean, I didn't realize how deep they were. So, but that Matricky trade is just that's cherry on top for them.
Right?
Um,
And to know that you can have Jingle on that back end too.
yeah. So let's just put this in perspective. Your first, your first line. Let's just say you have Barrow, Geezer, and Whips. That's your first line. Your second line, you throw out um,
Ricky,
McTricky,
Big White Hammer.
Big White Hammer, and TJ.
Yeah, TJ can play forward.
It's a pretty good line. That's a pretty good line too.
And then you rotate. And then you can rotate between Lizard, Joel's, and even Chad on defense and Jingle. I mean, they have options,
Well, they got B-Pack too.
and they also got P-Pack.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
they've got options.
yeah, those are the two. Those are my two teams to beat. That's I'm gonna say that here.
They've got depth.
Yeah,
I
Hmm.
mean, what more can you ask for?
I gotta agree with you, Big D. The only thing is, like I said, I got Grove City #1, Riverhawks 2, and then the Ice Hogs at the #3. I mean, just looking at productive wise, Riverhawks and Scrub City putting up a lot of points this season, goals. And I don't know. I just feel Scrub City's going to continue #1 throughout the season. They only got one more week to go. They've done it here 6 weeks consistently. I know it's gotten close here, but you mentioned the players, you mentioned the names on there. They could have an explosive week at you. We all have our bad weeks, but
I will say this though. I think Riverhawks, being that they're deep, I'm not going to pick who chooses, but if Scrub City and Riverhawks go against each other in the playoffs, my personal opinion is that their second line could
It's
beat
going to
Scrub
determine
City's second line.
the second line's going to determine that series basically.
Yeah. So, like, say for instance, your first line's Mizzy, Dizzy, and
Sure.
Pringmeister or something.
You even put Oscar Patriots up there too.
Well, let's say that that's their first line. Their second line could be Honcho Mikey,
Pockets.
Jay Sawyer, and Pockets. To me, that beats Scrub City's second line. So,
And then the defense side of things, CN. You can also put Oscar back there. You can put Sawyer back there. You can even I know Pockets even played D and LG, so I don't know if they'd put him back there in a pinch too. So I
I don't know.
mean they have options.
Yeah, I think Riverhawks is just so deep. So deep. So many options. Plus, they have such a good goaltender in Krejci back here. So,
That's all
I
I
don't know.
mean
perfectly fine
you
there,
got
Big
you
D. But here's the thing, man. Scorp City, whether they play the Riverhawks, whether they play the Ice Hogs, when it comes to playoffs, okay, you could have the guys you mentioned on there. But if I was heading into the playoffs, there's one guy that could change a whole series around, and that guy is Geezer, man. He's done it before. He's done it in multiple leagues. When it comes to playoff hockey, there's just something about the guy. He comes in, yeah, he brings his game during the regular season, but in the playoffs, the man is totally different. He's focused, and whatever teams he's on, man, he makes an impact in the playoffs in the best of seven series. And you see it right now towards the end of the season. He's playing a lot more games, man. He's going to be doing the same thing in the playoff time. And when that happens, you know what I mean? Yeah, Scrub City, a couple of weeks they've had to play a couple series without him in there. But when it comes to playoffs, I think Geezer will be there and he'll be the difference maker, man. That's my playoff guy that's going to show up to play. I've seen him do it numerous times, man. Even on teams where you're like, how the hell they're still in there on there, and I think he's the impact player, man. I'm sorry, but and when I look at this Scrub City team, yeah, all the other guys are having good seasons as well with him. You mentioned the addition of McTricky, but I think it all comes down to if Geezer carries this team, which he's done before. I don't care if it's Riverhawks or Ice Hogs, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm really not gonna disagree with you. I mean, Geezer's legit. Um, but I'm just saying, like, as far as a whole, I just feel like Riverhawks is pretty deep. I feel like they're deeper than Scrub City. But if they have that number one line that's able to go
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 games in the playoffs,
That's big.
forget
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
At that point, it doesn't really matter how deep you are because you only need four to win. You have them for 5 games like that. That's huge.
Hmm.
And he's a guy that's been drafted, so he could potentially do that. But we'll see what happens. That's why we play the game on here. Um, I really didn't have anything else here. Like I said, it's towards the end of the season, no trades, nothing really going around, nothing really happening in the league there that I saw, like anything crazy, anybody getting kicked out or anything. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been very quiet this season.
Yeah.
Like there's not very many
Or like chatter on there, like about
yeah.
like some
We had a few guys leave here and there. We
It's
had
not
two guys.
necessarily about guys leaving, it's about guys getting suspended
too,
for
yeah.
talking about people's families or something like that. Like it's for the most part it's been pretty quiet.
Uh-huh.
Yep, yep. It's only been one official suspension this year,
Oh
which
really? Who
is
was that?
Drizzy.
Who?
Drizzy from the Warriors.
Drizzy got suspended
He got suspended 1 game.
for what?
Family.
Oh,
Talking,
oh boy, what do we do with these young guns? Yeah, so for the most part, it's been pretty quiet.
Oh, and actually, there's been 3 suspensions this year. Jersey and Mad Jitter were both suspended 1 game for family trip,
Hmm.
and then Reimer was suspended 1 game for inappropriate / homophobic joke about
Well,
someone's
that guy's
sexuality.
always
Typical.
on there, man.
Shocker.
Has there been a season where he hasn't? But no, I'm
I mean, his gamer tag was Deshaun Watson at one point, so
you got to give him an award for that or something, man. But
yeah. Let's go to the chiropractor or the massage therapist.
oh gosh, oh man.
Yeah.
Well, listen. I mean, I want to thank everybody that tuned in the program. Like I said, we've been here every week for you. Got one more week left here of the regular season. We've got the All Star week 2 that we mentioned about. So we'll figure that out. Hopefully, we get coverage for that as well. And then it's been quick, man. This season, I remember Big D. We just started like the program was like the first 2 weeks, and here we are, man. Heading to
Yeah.
week 7. So. But that's good. That's a good thing, Get the season, get the new season rolling in and stuff. So quick turnarounds are great. I love it. It makes the league exciting. There's new stuff coming, new stuff happening, and the Bar League brings you that. Season after season, and so we'll see what happens. Final week. Good luck to the teams here. I'm interested to see how it's gonna finish up. We gave you guys our analysis, our prediction. But we'll see. Are we going to be talking about next week, Scrub City? Is it going to be the Riverhawks, or will Ice Hogs come up the rear there, pull up the wins, and maybe shock us all both? We'll see. So final words, guys, here before I close things out, man. Hoagie.
I guess thank you guys for bringing me on for the 3rd time this season. I guess 3rd time maybe was the charm. I don't know.
You're just trying to get that good luck stuff, right? For the Ice Hogs, I think, come on here, but
I more do it from the league management standpoint as well to
yeah.
bring you guys up to date news and
No, we appreciate
whatnot.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to, like I said, the announcement tonight with the World Cup. I came out with the announcement about the All Star game. I mean, I just breaking news guy.
I think you need to come on here and actually like take a 5-hour energy because you're about half asleep.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, I'm fine.
You're like, I'm fine. Yeah.
I'm awake.
That's me one of the weeks, man. But
With this 30-old hairline.
Yeah, I would just say good luck to the rest of the teams. It's pretty close. It's going to be a hell of a week. And I'm sure that we'll get more announcements on and more clarification on All-Star games and World Cup, and sign-ups will be available soon. So if you guys are looking forward to that, get into that. But other than that, good luck this week, and that's all I got.
have a good night, everybody. On behalf of Big D, Hoagie, Mr. Hollywood here. Sign out, fellas. Have a good night.